Is the Windsurf IDE dead? This is something I've been seeing a lot around on the internet in various places, especially in Discord chat rooms. People have this idea that somehow Windsurf must have died whenever Google acquired it or acquired the leadership team. However, that's not the case. So Windsurf, as you may know, is an IDE much like Cursor, both of which are forks of VS Code, which is a very popular IDE. And the new IDEs that are agent enhanced or AI agent enhanced have also become very popular. Windsurf is one of them, Cursor perhaps the more famous, and now more recently we have anti-gravity from Google. So let me show you this page here. At the time of recording and soon to be uploaded, this video is just after this announcement has come out on the Windsurf blog. So this is the live website of the Windsurf team. This is the blog, and you can see that the latest blog that they have here is GPT 5.3 Codex. This is a very new model that has just been released, and as you can see, February 12th, 2026 is very close to the time that I've uploaded this video, and this blog is, of course, new, live, fresh, everything like that. So the blog is being updated, and I can tell you that the product is also being updated. These models are available inside the product. So the product is still in active development. Therefore, the answer to the question is that no, Windsurf is not dead. In fact, the opposite, Windsurf is doing pretty well. I don't know what the financials are, so maybe it's not doing that well, but I suspect that they're doing okay. I think the product is good. I prefer the product over Google's anti-gravity, which is essentially a fork of Windsurf. More on that very soon. And I've also preferred it over Cursor. Now, I used Cursor 1.0. I haven't tried 2.0, so it'd be difficult for me to comment. However, I like how I have Windsurf set up, and that's what I'm continuing to use. I do mix in a little bit of anti-gravity. That's something that I may touch on later. So first I wanted to dispel this myth. I wanted to show you that it is live, that it's still being used, and it's still a good product. Let's have a little bit look at the story as to what actually happened. Why did this come about? Why do people believe that Windsurf is dead? So OpenAI tried to acquire Windsurf, and there was a little bit of drama at the time. Anthropic threatened to pull out their models and did even pull out their models from Windsurf. For whatever reason, the acquisition fell through. I don't remember off the top of my head, and I haven't gone to look recently. However, after that acquisition failed, Google came in and did what's called an acqui-hire. So they took the senior leadership team, paid them a whole bunch of money. Perhaps it could be mostly stock rather than cash, let's be honest. The deal was valued at 2.4 billion. And at the same time, they've also taken a license for Windsurf itself. And so, as I understand it, for this deal, Google's anti-gravity is essentially a fork of Windsurf. And if you were inside Google's anti-gravity, at some point, you may have realized while doing a search that something would pop up saying Cascade. This is something that was shown on Twitter in a screenshot, and Cascade is actually the product from the Windsurf team. And of course, the Windsurf leadership went from the Windsurf team, where they started it, and they went to Google. So this gives you a clear indication that it probably is a fork. It's been used under license, which is what Google paid for, and that's basically anti-gravity. So it's a fork of Windsurf. They paid a license for the intellectual property in order for them to use it, and that's how this has come around. So the product still exists. Google took the leadership team, but they didn't take really the underlying product, just a license to use the intellectual property. That's what I understand. The next part is to look at Cognition. So Cognition is a team that I believe are based in San Francisco. That's where their headquarters are. They're building a product called Devon. I haven't used it. I don't know how it is. You can use it for $20 a month as a starting point. That does sound quite attractive. Windsurf as a starting point has a pretty similar pricing point, as does Google's anti-gravity, as does Cursor. Cognition, I can't really say much about. I don't know much about them other than they've made Devon. Devon is one of these sort of all-purpose generic AI agents, much like Manus. I would hope that it's good, but I don't know. This is the Cognition website that I'm showing you now. Again, I can't really say much about it. They're hiring, and they are still very much actively developing their dev and product in the same way that the team that they bought, so they bought the rest of the Windsurf team along with the Windsurf product, that is still in active development. People are still employed. I couldn't tell you whether that team is growing or being shrunk. I did see some drama somewhere on Twitter back in the past where people were saying that the team might be strong because they were working lots of hours, that they were being asked to overwork. I'll be honest, I don't really know. I don't know what the end result of all that is. What I can tell you is that Windsurf is very much still around, still very much being used by many people, and it is something that you can start using, and I think it is a good product. Here on the screen now, I'm showing you the different pricing plans that they have. There is a trial, so you can download it, try it out, see if it's any good. There is then the Pro plan, which is $15 a month. However, I should say, be careful because there's actually tax to be included on top of that. If you're in Europe, like me, then you'll have to pay a VAT on top of that. Even though these guys are based in the US, there's still VAT to pay. If you're in America, there may very well be some sort of sales tax to be added on. I'll be honest, I don't really know how that works for you guys over in the US. And then it'll be the same for their upper tier here, or the Teams tier at $30 per user. One thing I also want to point out is that they have these add-on credits. This is something I found very good. The price per credit is a bit more expensive than this base plan. However, if you're going through the month and you've spent, say, $20, you get a good amount of credits, and I think you do get a good amount. When you run out, you can just top up and add more. That way you can spend, say, $20, $30, $40, $50 in a month rather than going from $20 up to $200. Things like Claude, you probably know of like the Claude Code plans. You can maybe do like $20 and then $200, and similar with Google, it's like $20 and then $120. It's quite a big jump with not really much gradation in between. However, Windsurf let you have that gradation in between where you can just pay as you go, and I think that's a really great thing. In the past, I know that Cursor didn't have it, or it wasn't really clear on their website, although they may have added it now. But it was something that was missing, and it was something that kind of bothered me whenever I eventually stopped using Cursor and eventually switched to Windsurf. So that answers the question. I hope that's clear. It is a product that I use. I've been using it today, and it's something that I still use and like, and I would encourage you to check it out. I'm going to have a referral link in the description if you want to check out Windsurf. It's greatly appreciated if you were to click that link. There's absolutely no obligation, of course. And of course, if you want to like and subscribe, I'm going to be producing more content like this where I will be talking about the AI tools that I'm using, the AI apps that I'm building, sometimes doing deep dives on the different techniques, and maybe jumping into code. So if that's your sort of thing, then I would encourage you to check it out, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.